What's good, y'all? It's James here, and I know it's been a minute, but I'm back, and I wanted to make this video discussing some of my favorite albums that have come out so far in this year of 2023. It was kind of a slow start to the year, but in the recent weeks and months, it has picked up quite a bit, with a lot of really, really solid artists dropping some really, really solid projects, and I'm very excited to just talk about them and give my thoughts on some of my favorite projects that have dropped so far. And yeah, let's get into it. So first, I want to talk about Tyler the Creator, which he dropped "Call Me If You Get Lost," the estate sale. This is a deluxe version of the album he dropped back in 2021, and it is to me a perfect example of what a deluxe album should be, because it not only added to the original project, but to me enhanced it. It added 8 tracks to the original project, although it's really more like 7 because the first one, "Everything Must Go," is more of a interlude or sort of intro. But the other 7 tracks are all incredibly strong to me. I absolutely love them. Some of my favorite Tyler tracks are in these 7 songs, especially Dogtooth and "Sorry Not Sorry." I absolutely adore. Wharf Talk with ASAP Rocky is also super, super dope, and so is Stuntman. But even What a Day, Heaven to Me, Boyfriend, Girlfriend, all 7 of them are all really, really good. I really, really enjoy the tracks he added and just the whole way it added to the album. I think it's really impressive that Tyler was able to sort of drop a deluxe that did what a deluxe is supposed to do. Because I feel like a lot of artists sort of don't. I feel like a lot of artists sort of just drop a deluxe and it's kind of eh. Not always. There's definitely outliers there of really, really solid deluxes, but usually they're kind of eh. But I think this was a really, really good one, and I think it did a lot for the project itself and really just in general. It's just dope to hear new Tyler. Like Tyler has this thing where he drops every 2 years, and I'm not sure if this is like his submission for the year or like whatever. But if it is, like I'm satisfied with that because this is a really, really solid bit of music, and I'm really, really grateful that he dropped these 7 tracks. And the fact that these were like the ones that were cut is insane because they are such a high quality that it's baffling to think we could have never gotten them. Especially "Sorry Not Sorry." Like I can't imagine a world where that song is not out because it's truly amazing. Yeah, so this is definitely one of my favorite bits of music that dropped this year. I don't think it's really considered like an album of the year candidate because it's not technically a new album. It's just a deluxe, but whatever you consider it, it's definitely one of the best of the year so far. And I absolutely love the new tracks. And Tyler's just such a dope artist. So really, really grateful to have him in the game and hoping to see him drop more stuff soon for sure. Next, I want to give a shout out to a more underrated project from this year, which was Forward by an artist called Jordan Ward. I actually had the pleasure of seeing Jordan Ward live recently. He opened for JID and Smino at the concert that I went to, and he was a fantastic live performer. His energy was fantastic, and that's what led to me checking out this project. And it's actually a really, really dope project. Jordan Ward has just an energy to him that I think is super infectious and super enjoyable. His vocals are just really unique and just sort of enjoyable to listen to. And in general, the album is just awesome. Like the production is great, the vibe's good, and just songwriting, everything about it is just really, really enjoyable. And I think Jordan Ward has a lot of potential in the game to like grow and become sort of a top artist. I could really see him evolving like to being one of the bigger names in the game. I think he has that kind of potential, and it's very, very obvious on this project. My favorite tracks, IDC with Junie, which is I Don't Care. That track is really, really awesome. I like 0495. I like Forward, the title track, and I do like White Crocs, which he also performed at the concert. They're all really, really solid tracks, and I think Jordan Ward just has a really unique sound to him that could really carry him a lot going forward, and it definitely shows on this album, and it's definitely a really, really enjoyable project. If you haven't heard of it or checked it out, definitely go do that. Highly recommend for sure, and definitely one of my favorites of the year so far. Okay, next I want to talk about Logic's new album, College Park, which dropped this year. It's actually really, really solid. I think Logic. I know a lot of people sort of. I don't want to say underrate him, but sort of overlook him just because he had that little slump for a while where he was dropping projects that weren't really up to par. But I feel like he's broken through that recently with this project, and then even earlier, No Pressure and Vinyl Days, which were both really, really side projects as well. And this project is really, really dope. I think Logic, like I said, I think he broke through the slump, and now he's just producing really, really good music. His rapping ability is clear here. He's not really corny like he was in his previous projects. The narrative throughout is really sound and really enjoyable to listen to. Just hearing Logic sort of see himself as like a young artist and sort of dreaming about what he one day could become, and then seeing him become it and seeing him be the star he is now and sort of reflect on that, I think is a really, really cool narrative to hear in the album. And just overall, the album has a great sound and feel to it. And I also think the production is great, and so are the features throughout. I mean, the first track has a RZA feature, and RZA does a great job. C. Castro does a great job on his features throughout. Joey Badass has a great feature, and then obviously Seth MacFarlane has a feature, which blew up on TikTok for a while, but it's genuinely really really good. And overall, I'd say this album is genuinely really really good. Like I said, I think the narrative is great. I think everything about it is just really really solid. I think Logic is back to a high standard, and I think this album is a great display of that. I think this is a really really solid project, and I definitely highly recommend it. If you're someone who does overlook Logic, I definitely recommend giving this album a shot and just sort of seeing if it could change your mind on him as an artist, because he definitely has a lot of merit and he's definitely really really solid. Another album from this year that I thought was really dope was "Scaring the Hoes" by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. I think this project is, well, insane. First of all, the energy is just ridiculous, and so is the production. But that's kind of the point. That's these artist styles, especially JPEG Mafia, whose production is always insane and ridiculous, and Danny Brown too, actually, for that matter. Atrocity Exhibition is a dope project, but definitely a very intense and hyper one. Um, and this album is the perfect mesh of their styles, and to me, it's just really, really good. Although it is an acquired taste, like I will say, not everyone is going to like this project just because of how intense and sort of high pace the energy is. But for me, it works. I absolutely love it. I think, like I said, I think their styles mesh really well, and I also just think both the other artists are fantastic separately. So seeing them together is awesome. And some of my favorite songs on this project are Perfect, which I think is maybe the best song on the album, although it's either that one or Fentanyl Tester, because I think that one's really good too. Lean Beef Patty, the intro track is really, really good. Kingdom Hearts Key with Red Veil is dope as well. And shout out Red Veil too, by the way. He's a young artist right now, but he's been dope. His last album from last year was really, really good, and it's good to see him on this project doing his thing. And I really like his feature on Kingdom Hearts Key. And in general, this project is just, yeah, like I said, really, really dope. Definitely not for everyone, but I definitely recommend checking it out if you're at all interested in either of these artists or just seeing something new, because it's definitely a unique sound. It's unlike anything you really get anywhere else, and I think this project is awesome. And I also, another thing I want to note about it is just I love the whole aesthetic of it. It being called "Scaring the Hose" and just the album cover and everything is just so funny to me, and I think it really plays well into like the stereotype behind both artists' fan base. And I think they knew that they were doing that, and that's what's fun about it. And I think them doing that adds to the fun of the album, because it is a really fun album too. And yeah, just definitely highly recommend. Definitely one of my favorite albums of this year so far. I don't know if it's my album of the year, but it's definitely probably in my top three favorites for sure. So definitely solid. Another album I want to talk about that came out this year is Daniel Caesar's new project, Never Enough. It's a really, really good project. I think Daniel Caesar as a whole is a fantastic artist. Freudian's a great project too, and I think this project, while not quite on the level of Freudian, is not too far behind. It's got some fantastic tracks on it. Toronto 2014 is one of my favorite songs of the year so far. I just absolutely love the songwriting, the energy, everything about it. It's just beautiful. Buyer's Remorse with Omar Apollo is great too. I think Omar Apollo is also another dope artist, so seeing them collab is really, really cool. Vince Van Gogh is a dope song, and so is the outro track Unstoppable. I think this album is full of great songs, and as a whole, the album stays steady and consistent throughout in terms of the energy, the quality, and everything about it. It's just really, really good. And it's definitely been probably my favorite album this year outside of the hip hop bubble, and probably one of my top five favorites this year in general. It's good to see Daniel Caesar back. It's been years since his last project, and it's good to see him come back with such a solid offering and such an overall good project. Another album I want to briefly mention is Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. I talked about this project a little bit already in my last video. So I don't need to say too much, I don't think, but I did really enjoy this project. I thought it was really, really good. Yachty's versatility was really shown here, and the way he sort of completely switched up his style from going from like a trap heavy melodic sort of rapper to this like crazy like sort of prog rock meld of sounds. I think that's what I said in the video too, but that's basically what he did, and it was super well done. Yachty is obviously very talented. The production on this album is fantastic. His voice is really really good. I think his use of auto tune is perfected here. The songwriting was solid, and everything about this album is just really really enjoyable. It's very much about the vibe you get from it, but that vibe is phenomenal, and I really think everything about it is just fun, really really good. And like I said, the versatility he showed was really really impressive. Not a lot of artists can switch up the way he did. So the fact that he went from his initial style that had like really made him what he was to this, and the fact that he did it in such a way that was so well received was super super impressive. It's a really really solid project. I feel like at this point most people have heard it, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. Highly recommend. Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. The final album I want to talk about is Since I Have a Lover by Black. This was a good project. I do feel like it was a slight step down from his previous album, East Atlanta Love Letter, because I really, really liked that project. I thought it was really, really fantastic. And this one was good, but it just wasn't quite to that level. I do like hearing Black rap because he does rap more on this project, and I think that's kind of fun. But I don't know. It's just, it feels like it was a bit too long at 19 tracks. I feel like some of the tracks could have been taken out and it wouldn't have affected the project. Would probably made it better. And I feel like some of the mixing's a little off at times, but that being said, it's still a fun album. It's still got a really good energy to it, really good vibe. It's pretty relaxing. It's very soothing to listen to, which I appreciate. And Black is still very, very good. I still really enjoy his work on this album. I still think his overall energy is valuable and really, really needed in the hip hop space. And I think he does a great job here of conveying that. Some of his bars are really enjoyable, and his style is in general still entertaining. But I just think it was a little underwhelming compared to what he's dropped in the past. That being said, it's still a good project and definitely still deserves recognition and respect. And Black is still, like I said, a fantastic artist. So really looking forward to what he does next after this project, and definitely was still checking out this project for yourself, making your own opinion, seeing how you feel about it, and in general checking out Black's work because he's a really dope artist. All right, so that was the albums I have been enjoying so far this year for the most part. There's probably some other ones that I forgot to mention, but these are just the ones that are on my mind right now and the ones that I've been feeling recently. Like I said, 2023 got off to a really slow start, but it's picked up a lot recently and become a pretty solid year for music. And I'm really excited to see what drops going forward. But yeah, these are just my thoughts. Appreciate it if y'all stuck around to hear me, and yeah, appreciate y'all. Much love, peace.